Andrea, are you ready?
Hello.
There she is.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm here with the Community Language Cooperative. My name is Andrea. We're going to be practicing language justice, and we are going to provide simultaneous interpretation in English and Spanish. Please make sure that you select your language after we start the interpretation to speak at a conversational pace and to refer to the page on your packet when you are talking. Hola a todos, soy Andrea, estoy aquí con la Community Language Cooperative. Vamos a estar practicando la justicia del lenguaje y vamos a tener interpretación en inglés y en español. Por favor, recuerden hablar un paso conversacional y si tienen alguna pregunta siempre pueden hacerlo en el chat. Thank you, and we can begin interpretation now.
Thank you, Andrea. I'll call to order this work session of the Sheridan City Council for October 24th, 2022. The time is 6:06 p.m. We have all members present except for Council Member Stang. She's ill tonight, so she will not be here. Our first item tonight is a meeting with Judge Kimmel. Nice to see you, Judge. Are you going to give us your annual update? Is that the, okay.
Sure, I can do that. Sit down. As you can see, I'm having trouble walking, but my head still works.
Great.
And my back is all screwed up.
Mm.
I want to first say I really enjoy working in Sheridan. I'm proud to work there. And as far as I'm concerned, and this is verified by other lawyers, this is one of the best municipal courts in the state. We have a good staff. We're well run. We get along well. And I appreciate your work. There are a couple of problems. Kathy was asked if I'd lower my fines. No, I haven't. Police aren't writing tickets. And I don't know why, but what used to be I'd get 60 to 80 tickets a night. Now I'm 35 or 30. And I've had a rule that if there's an accident, and someone's injured, they need to write them into court. I get that pretty much, but mostly I'm getting shoplifting and things of that nature. I talked to the chief about the tickets, and he said they didn't have a instructor for the LiDAR system, but they'd get one. But I haven't gotten tickets for careless driving or anything of that nature either.
I feel like your microphone might have gone out. I can't hear it. I know we could hear you fine, but the interpreter can't hear you unless you got the mic, so. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
right,
thank you.
I've been here since 1976, and I'm very proud to be the judge. I think we do a good job. And a lot of the police.
We're gonna have to mic you up differently. Sorry, Judge. Hate to keep interrupting you, yeah. Give Jenna just a second. She can set you up.
Oh, yeah.
Get that up nice and high. All right, yeah,
You hear me now?
that's better, yeah.
Also, I'm a little disturbed. I think we've always done well on domestic violence cases.
Mhm.
The commander had written a letter that all domestic violence cases should be written into county court, and that was news to me. No one had visited with me about that. So the city manager had a meeting and indicated that I said, why are we having this meeting if I'm not going to have any more tickets? So they said, well, we'll write the less serious ones, to me, that's one without injury, in the county court, and the rest of them in the municipal court. I've had no domestic cases, violence since then. I have some reviews because we have a lot of warrants out for people that haven't shown up, and but there's none at all. So I'm disappointed there wasn't more communication with that, because I've always been able to work things out and solve problems ahead of time, not afterwards. But I don't know why that is, and I don't know why that decision was made. No one's explained that to me. I think I've done a good job with domestic violence cases. I've been a lawyer for a million years, and I used to do domestic violence cases myself. And I think we do a better job than the county court. County court's crowded. They dismiss a lot of them. Mr. Osmus, the city attorney, or the prosecuting attorney, agrees with me. And we have a victim advocate. And I do community service and domestic violence classes. And when you go to county court, it's usually crowded. The policemen have to wait a long time. Sometimes they get kicked off. We don't have that here. We can work. But I don't have those anymore either. So I don't know what's happening. No one has bothered to tell me.
Okay.
But anyway, my health is good other than being able to walk. As I told you in my last review, if I sense my faculties are going, I'll resign, because I don't want to embarrass the city in any way. So I'm proud to be a judge here. And that's all I have to say. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Well, we can try to get some information back from the police about that change. And it doesn't have to be tonight, Chief, if you don't have an answer for us, but if you wouldn't mind following up so that we can all have an idea why that change was made.
Sure, we can. I've talked to Devin about it, and we were on the same page, but sure, we can talk about that after.
Appreciate that.
But the trouble is Moscow hasn't instructed the policemen to do anything differently.
It's because we don't offer the right victim rights here that we believe we get in the other court. So
Well, I would appreciate if someone else told me what your concerns were. Yeah, I've always been able to work things out with the police department, and we've always had a good relationship. So if you didn't think I was doing something right, I wish someone would have told me.
it wasn't that you weren't doing anything right, Judge. It was what we had discussed in the meeting, and then we discussed it with city manager after, and that was the direction we took. So the police department was going to go in that direction, but we can certainly give you more information about that. But I didn't, I believe city manager should be here because we did discuss it with him and he knew why we were doing what we were doing.
Are we going to have more traffic tickets now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We talked about that the last meeting, didn't we?
Absolutely. We talked about it, and I'm watching the stats every day, and there should be plenty of tickets coming in. So
I would really appreciate it if things like that are going on and you talk to me privately. I don't want to make a fuss. I'm never going to go to the press ever. But always before, the police had the courtesy to tell me what was going on. Now I don't get that
on the traffic
on
citation,
anything.
Maybe we can work on some channel of communication there. Anyone have questions for Judge Kimmel? His renewal of his contract is coming up. That's why he's visiting tonight, like he does every year, just to kind of give us an update in case you don't get to court, which I know I don't get to.
You're all invited anytime you want.
Yeah.
One of the councilmen used to come regularly, but he's not a councilman anymore.
Yeah.
based on the cases that you see coming through, what do you think are the top, the top things that we should focus on as a community?
Well, some I don't know that you can. I get an awful lot of shoplifting tickets from Costco. I get a few people fighting. The main thing is we have shoplifting and drug paraphernalia and drugs. Everybody's using meth now. When I started out, it was heroin, and now a lot of them have switched to meth. And it really wrecks their lives. I try to tell them where they can get help. I'm not sure they will. Recently we had a lady that had meth, and she was going to be clean, and she wasn't using anymore. Well, she left her pack outside, and I put her in jail. They went out and picked her pack up, and it had a bunch of heroin or methamphetamine in it. So, she was just waiting to get out and shoot up again. And that's the problem in society. And the reason I talk about traffic tickets, I think people are driving with the pandemic, they're angry, and people are driving more recklessly and more aggressively. And I think that's a problem in the community. I don't know if you've noticed that when you drive, but I sure have.
Yes, I have.
Definitely. I was in your courtroom and a young lady went to jail. And and she was
Sorry.
so disrespectful to you, to the police officers, to Kathy. It was just,
I'm used to that.
so is there, I think there's a lot more of that going around.
Yeah, there
where
are.
People are just.
And people
totally-
just aren't showing up.
Yeah, they just.
We
no
have
respect
more
for-
no shows. You'll have 38 or something on the docket, and half of them will come. The other half, then I issue warrants for,
Oh, wow.
and they finally get caught. I have about 6 or 7 calls a week during the morning, because if somebody's in jail, I need to arraign them or advise them or sentence them for what they didn't do. And we never used to have that way, but the policemen are picking up a lot of people now on warrants. And we have to hear those within 48 hours. So I get a lot of that. I do it by telephone. I get a lot of those each week.
Counsel, if you get a chance to come up and come to the court, it's more entertaining than anything you could ever watch on television.
No
It
doubt.
really
It is.
is. It's I wouldn't say comical. It's comical at times, but yet it's an eye opener on behavior, human behavior, and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's very much an eye opener.
Well, I don't really have more to say. I appreciate your support, and I'm really proud to be the judge here.
So are you, if you don't mind me asking, are you doing other work outside?
I
of-
still go to my office every morning. I don't
Still
work
do.
full time now.
Mhm.
I don't litigate anymore because I have too much trouble getting around.
Yeah.
But I go to the office each morning,
Mhm. Well, good.
work half days.
It's the way to do it.
Well, I can't just stop doing things.
Mhm.
I've been busy all my life, and I need things to do. And this is important to me as well as my office.
Mhm.
And I have a lot of clients that I've had for years and years. And I don't like to turn them loose because some of the lawyers don't treat them very fairly. So I try to help my old people. Trouble is, they're all dying. Anybody else?
Want to have any other questions for Judge Kimmel?
I don't. Just thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much for your service. That's a long time, sir.
Thank you for coming by. Still a speed trap. Mhm.
So it's a community service program that pays for itself, that we find them for that. I have a drug and alcohol program that I set up. And I'm proud of those programs because in my practice, when I see people going to domestic violence classes or things like that, they spend half their time talking about the football scores. And I've had much better rapport and reports on the ones that are owned rather than the ones that are just farmed out. So I've tried to make it better. Still am.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim. Good seeing you, Jim. All righty, I'll be there. And I'm not shoplifting at Costco, okay? It's not me.
Jeez.
That's so weird.
Okay,
Please check your receipt at Costco.
I know.
That's really brazen. It just is mind boggling.
All right. Who's going to be running us through our agenda items?
Well,
Or should I do that?
no, I think Teresa's probably going to do it since it's kind of
Mostly
her show
budget,
the whole night.
Since it's her show.
All right. Good evening.
Good evening.
So tonight in our meeting, we have 4 finance items things. The first is we are asking to amend the 2022 budget. The 2 funds that we're asking you to amend are the general fund and the open space fund. Both of those are because of the additional with the American Rescue Plan funds and expenses. That's why we're asking you to amend that. And with the open space fund, it was grant money and expenses that came in that we were not expecting. So all things that you've seen on the financials that were presented every month. So, nothing crazy or new. And I think open space, we almost amend every year because Andrew and Ari and you guys are always getting grants. So, so that's what we're asking for on the 2022 budget amendment. Did you have any questions on that? Pretty straightforward. Next item, 2023 budget. We've been talking to every meeting since end of August. So probably not going to go into a lot of detail, just kind of wanted to follow up on some items that we had talked about. We do have that second code enforcement officer that is in here. We just made sure that that's all on there. We do have the sustainability coordinator in there. Devin did want to kind of mention that, yes, we are adding a part-time, as the judge was saying, victim advocate to kind of help out Tina, since Tina is kind of a one-man show. So that's something that is being new added to there. As far as revenues, I think things are, going in the right direction. As was brought up, the ticket revenue, they're monitoring that. And, with COVID, with everything, it's been kind of a crazy time. So hopefully we're getting back to normal. Otherwise, with all the different ones, I think we've talked to you about it. So I'm really happy to answer any questions. I'm happy to go over I would talk to you for 3 hours about this, but you'd be asleep. So
We haven't allowed for that much time. Sorry. I know you're really looking forward to it, but it's fun.
so,
Still
but
have 35 minutes. of time
well,
that
I've
you
got
need
a
to eat
couple
up.
more things.
Okay.
So, I think I'm the Tonight Show. So, but, happy to answer questions because this is, a lot of money and things are going well. So can I answer any questions? You guys are making this easy. All right, next on the agenda is the approval of the auditor for the 2022 audit for the city. We're asking you to approve the Adams Group. The Adams Group, it was first Poisty Adams, and now they split, and it's now the Adams Group. Does our audit. I think they do a very thorough job. 2 years ago, Jim Ray was no longer there, and he was kind of our main man. Had the opportunity to work with Eric and Elliot. Both have done a really thorough job, and Eric has really dug into the SRA bonds, because SRA bonds, as you know, we have, general obligation debt, we have subordinate debt, we have 73C notes, it's convoluted. So I think they do a really good job. And so we're just asking you to approve them to do next year's audit, both for the city and the SRA. So it works a little bit better to have the same auditor for both, because we have things that intertwine. It wouldn't have to be, I think it makes it easier for everybody to be on the same page. So happy to answer any questions about the auditor. Exciting stuff. All right. And last but not least, the line of credit, we have been getting this since I believe it's 2013. We have not had to use the line of credit for 6 or 7 years. We haven't had to use it. It is a really cheap form of having money. And I can say this because I have another client who is trying to get lines of credit, and they don't have the credit that you guys do and the fund balances that you guys do. And it's becoming a challenge. It's becoming an expensive challenge. So, under $1,000 to get 250,000. So it's just very easy. And so to have it instantly. So would like to ask you, once we have that resolution signed, then we can send that to the bank and start the process. Have any questions on that?
And
Yes.
is it still that we don't get any income from the first of the year till April? Is that still correct? I remember that in the past, because we didn't get property taxes till April.
So the joy that the city has is we have sales tax. Our primary money is sales tax. So that comes in a little bit more seriously. Property tax, you're right. We don't get the first big distribution until March, because that first payment's due in February, and then, March, April, and that. So it does get a little bit thinner, but definitely a city has an advantage over like a county or like a sanitation district, because they are primarily property tax unless they're charging any kind of fees. So yes, it gets a little bit thinner, but the nice thing is in November, the city gets paid from the SRA their base for the sales tax of $359,000. So that kind of helps to give a push to get through the end of the year and the beginning of the year. So did that answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
We had years where it was a lot thinner. That's part of
Yes.
why we
Holy
had the line of
bananas.
Yes,
credit,
and that,
so.
and I think if I remember right, thinking back then, that was the reason for the LLC.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because
Because those thin times between
Yeah.
the first of the year, right around the
Yeah.
first of the year,
Yeah.
we were,
Yeah, because it does at the end of the year, because during when we get our property tax, I'm definitely transferring money to savings. And like right now, like when you see the cash position for next month, I'm transferring some money out of savings to cover that. So, it just, you're fortunate that you can build it up and put it in savings so that you do have it when it gets a little thinner, in that November, December, in the first 3 months. So yes.
yeah.
Well, I'm really glad we've had enough in our budget to staff up a couple positions that we wanted. So
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Yeah. Because the second code enforcement officer came on in 22,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Is that part of the adjustment? Are we adjusting that pay in there too? I mean, the
Amendment.
amendment, yeah.
So the amendment is primarily because of no, that did not push us over. It was
didn't,
that
okay.
American Rescue Plan, those funds and then those expenditures. So no, that didn't put us over.
Okay.
So. I did not take up 35 minutes.
I was trying.
I
32 minutes.
know, that's all I've got. Unless I talk about the SRA. Do you want me to talk about the SRA too, or do you
Sure.
have
Yeah,
things?
we can do it.
Okay,
Get a little
okay.
preview and then we don't have to spend time on it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know, there's no way that's gonna
We can
happen.
figure
We
something.
need
out.
Devin. He's good at chatting. So, so for the SRA, again, we're asking you to amend the 2022 budget because of debt service. This is fairly common. I am conservative when I budget for revenues under the debt service. And then when they come in higher, then we're able to then make more B bond payments. So, and again, you've been seeing these on your financials throughout the year. So, you know, that's a good problem to have, is to have more money than to be able to pay more B bond payments. Then as far as the 2023 SRA budget, again, we talked about this last month, you know, didn't make any changes. Everything is looking pretty good. Probably the only thing that we changed since the last meeting was we increased the reimbursement to the city because the percentages were really low. I mean, I think we had 2% for, you know, Randy's time, and he does a lot more than that. So it's getting it a little more even and still keeping a healthy fund balance on the SRA while getting the city paid, you know. And again, as we've had in years past, if the SRA wouldn't have money, they don't pay the city. I mean, they will, you know, Costco and Target, you know, get blown away in a tornado or something. Let's hope not. Let's hope all the rest of them do. So, it's pretty straightforward with the SRA. Did I take up a minute?
Good job.
And then we're getting the auditors again for the same question about the
Oh,
auditors. right?
yes, auditors.
For the
please
SRA.
approve.
Yeah.
Same
Yes,
auditors.
yes.
Same story.
Same story.
Yes.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna be quiet now.
Okay. We could turn it over to Ari. He can tell us about anything he needs to about this the easement.
Well, you got 30 minutes.
You can read it into the record if you'd like.
Oh my gosh. Hello, good
Hi.
evening. Your favorite planner here to ask for more permissions again. So working on the line extension project for the electric vehicle chargers. Excel is asking for an easement for where their line will be buried. So this line will come from Oxford. It will run down Hazel. It looks like it's going to run on the sidewalk, like right next to the Sally Port, and then it will just cross the entrance to the
Oh,
parking
that's
lot.
shocking.
I know that they want to have access to their property. That is going to be on our property. It's approximately 8 feet in width. They'll do all the work. This is completely free.
That's good.
And the school district is also approving their tiny little drop of an easement that they have to grant to. So hopefully their staff will be getting back to me soon. If there's any concerns you may have, really the only thing I can console you with is that we're going to require as-built once they do the work so that we will know exactly where that line is on our property, but that's pretty standard construction stuff. Happy
they
to
gonna-
answer any
Are
questions.
they gonna have to dig anything up? Or?
So they're doing like a bore, so they'll dig like a hole and then they'll like
Pull it
shoot it.
through and-
Yeah. So it's hopefully very uninvasive. The easement does say that they have to restore everything to its current status. Randy's pretty good about making sure that gets
Yeah.
done. So free construction. I mean, in this economy, you got a joke even. So yeah, happy to
So is
answer
there
any
anything
questions.
else we can weasel in there?
No, I tried. So when they give us the money, like the balance basically of like, oh, this is what your construction allotment was. It was like $120,000. The work is like $46,000. And I was like, well, we could really use some nice new landscaping where this line is going. They were like, yeah, we
No.
gotta do that. So I tried, but we'll get
Oh,
a nice
wow.
power line at least.
Yeah.
Very elective, Brian.
Mhm.
Very elective.
But Dallas, you have the power to approve or disapprove.
I do have power.
You could, yes. Any questions? No? It's pretty straightforward.
Thank you.
That was a good line.
Mhm. Mm. Okay, is anything else on our agenda that we missed? That's all I saw.
I don't think so.
I had a question then, if we can switch to new business, I guess. It's not on the agenda. Are we coming up on review time for the city clerk and
You just took
city
away my
manager?
report.
Oh,
That was
sorry.
it.
Oh, boy.
Your
You
time for your
you just-
report.
That's right. Well, I couldn't give you my report.
Okay,
My report was, it's time for review.
it felt like it was to me.
And I will be sending those out for Devon tomorrow.
Okay,
And I don't know whether you want to review me since I'm going to be leaving in January.
I know that's the question. It's like, how do we do that for this year? Because then do we
Yeah, I
need
did
to
that.
do one for Jenna as well while she's substituted, or do we not do that?
No, I think Devon already did that.
Oh, she did.
For
that.
hers.
Okay,
So,
okay, so we're just reviewing you for
right,
the time you're with.
if you want to.
Uh-huh. If, yeah, but yeah, it won't matter, right?
Well,
Well, they'll give you one last round of awesome praise, right?
that's right. I can go out in Nebraska.
I think that probably wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and do.
We can still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who compiled the city clerk last year? Was that you, Dallas? Did you do that?
I
No,
think
Did that?
Devon did
Devon
last
did.
year.
Oh, definitely.
yeah, they each did each.
Oh, you just did each other's.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. It's been a year.
I know, right? I've slept since.
We'll tell him that he's going to do that.
Yeah.
He can always find
Since he's not here to defend himself.
like you.
Okay, so you'll send out his, and then when he gets back, he'll send out yours, and we can.
No, I'll send
You'll send them
both
all?
out, and
Okay.
then, but when you return them, then send mine to Devon and Devon's to me.
Okay. Do you know what date, or is that up to us?
I would like to have them back by November 4th,
Okay,
and then the executive session will be on November 12th.
okay. So return them on the 4th for the
Yes,
meeting on the 12th.
yes. Well, the 14th.
14th.
I'm sorry, I got
I
2
thought-
months mixed up. The 14th. And then also, as far as the judge goes, I assume that you'll want to appoint him for another 2 years. And that will be then on the next agenda. But then if you want to increase his salary, that will also have to be done by ordinance for 2
Okay.
readings. So I don't know whether you want to do
So we
what
can
the- what the city's
we
been getting.
wanna just kinda-
3%.
get a head shakes here, and then you can prepare the ordinance.
I think prepare it. I would, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Yeah. For 3% raise, or,
That's what the staff has been getting.
okay,
So, okay.
sound okay to everyone? We'll get that ready.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, how does that work for the judge anyway?
How does it work?
Like if
for
you
you?
don't renew his contract or whatever it is, how does that work? Is there someone that runs against him or something, or how does it?
No, you'd have
Appointed.
to appoint
Just
someone
appointed.
We'll
else.
have to find somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Which
It's something we probably should talk about, just like
I was going to say.
a
it's
succession
probably-
plan or something.
I don't know what length of time that would be, but
Mhm.
I'm sure it wouldn't be before the next meeting.
Right. Okay. We'll bring that up to Stefan when he's back again too. Anything else on that?
So as of now, just wanted to clarify,
Yes.
we'll do the resolution appointing him and the first reading of the pay adjustment.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else want to give their report now? Then we can make our meeting shorter.
Go
You wanna
ahead.
go
Chief.
ahead?
Oh, could I just say something?
Do you have something?
Okay.
last week I had the opportunity to attend the Colorado Municipal Clerks Conference. So I just want to thank you guys. It was a great conference. I attended lots of great sessions. And then I was sworn in as the secretary of the Colorado Municipal Clerks Association last week. So I will serve their board for 2 years. So
Congratulations.
Yes,
Right.
but thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate your guys' support. So thank you.
Awesome. What are your duties as the secretary? You know?
Thing as a city clerk.
I am the clerk of clerks now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Clerk of clerks, that's very cool.
Yeah, so I'm excited. It's going to be fun. I get to help be on the education committee, and I will also be serving the conference committee, and then just helping with different board decisions as we go through. So
Great.
yeah, should be
Thanks
fun.
for being out there, making Sheridan look good.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, Chief, you want to
Sure.
go ahead? Yeah.
I also had an opportunity to attend a conference. I was at the International Association Chiefs of Police in Dallas, Texas.
Nice.
So there was some really good content. I didn't have quite the action that Jenna did in Cannon City, but I had a great time. Learned some great things and made sure that we're keeping up with best practices and making sure that we're, staying in line and up to date with the things that are going on. So a lot of the same things that we hear and we read here are going on. Crime is escalating everywhere. It's just one of the things we really think that's, bigger than just the law enforcement part of it. There's other things that are going on, but seeing what we can do as law enforcement to make sure that we keep people safe more than anything. But as you know, Colorado leads the nation in auto thefts right now. We unfortunately just got tagged with the #1 for thefts of packages from homes. We are now titled as the #1 offender in the country in that as well. Catalytic converters are really high and several other things. So we're trying to keep those down, and especially in Sheridan, that's our focus, is keeping people safe more than anything. So we've been doing our best we can there. But I wanted to make sure that I re-invited you because we are ready to let you all experience the virtual simulator that we have. And Randy's been doing a great job of doing the fixing our floors up and the lighting downstairs. So I think we're a more respectable place where I wouldn't be so embarrassed to have you down there to see our building down there. And then if you want to do the simulator, we can do it one-on-one, however you want. We can do it in groups. But I just think it's important that we offer that to you and let you experience that and just see some of the things. And again, the simulator is really neat because if you're giving good commands or something, then we can change it that you have a better outcome. But of course, sometimes we'll force you to have to make a decision that would be a little more drastic. But I think it's good for you to experience that. So if you want to, any of you want to, you can certainly contact me, or we can set it up as a group, however you want to, if you want to talk about that. So
Might be good to do before a meeting sometime, or we can do a couple times.
sure,
Get
Yeah,
a few people each time or
I'd
something.
love to do it. I want to do it.
absolutely.
It's fun as a group too.
Sure.
Really?
How long does it take for like one person to go through the program?
You can make it as quick or as short as possible. I mean, a scenario can take, 2 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, we usually like to give you like 3 different scenarios, and one you'll probably lose and one you might do okay and one you might win. So just depends. But, we change them up with the officers because we want them to have to be able to make those hard decisions when they would have to defend themselves or others. And then of course, the ones where they can succeed by talking people out of things. So, but there's plenty of different scenarios. So you're all welcome to attend, and we can do all of our staff too at different times too. So we can talk about that. Doesn't have to be when we bring you in. So
Everybody who all is interested in doing that. Everybody here. Okay, so we'll find out from Desiree too, and then maybe see if we can set up for before some of our meetings, unless that won't work for people.
yeah, whatever
I
works,
don't know what your
we'll make it
Monday
work.
meetings look like. I don't-
Be fun with me. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to remember to do something by email, but if you don't hear from me, maybe poke me and say,
Okay,
hey, we get this scheduled. Thanks, Chief.
you're welcome.
So did you have any any big takeaways from the conference? Anything in particular that you went, that's definitely something we should look into? Or-
Yeah, one of the classes I went to was, of course, about the First Amendment auditors.
Mhm.
And People all over the world are having problems with the First Amendment auditors, but we're pretty much doing what we can, which is just, treat them with respect and don't fall into what they want us to do. But there are some other things that we can do. Posting places like they were coming into our area where our police vehicles are parked. I think we updated you on that. They were filming in our cars and they were doing, but we had signs that it said authorized personnel only. Their content was, this doesn't say you can't come in here, it just says authorized personnel only, and they challenged all that. So we ended up changing the signs and putting the CRS code, which said no trespassing under this code. When we posted those, they never enter that area again. They come up and they know. They even did one of their videos and they said, well, they posted it right, we're not going in. So that helped here. So we're also working with the city attorney and looking to see what we can do to better protect our employees in here from getting the inquiries that they do, or that are basically just trying to trigger people. So I think there's some things that we can do there nationally. There other departments are doing that, and when our city attorneys are feeling like we can do that as well. So hopefully we'll be making some direction in that area as well. So that was one of the biggest one. And then of course it's retention. There's so many people that do not want to be the police anymore. We're doing really well here. We do have turnover, but we have people that are willing to step in and take those positions, and we're doing well with that. But it's hard everywhere. The large departments, they're down hundreds of officers. So of course they're trying to bring them in, and small departments are trying to compete with them as well to stay employed. It's really a tough time in law enforcement right now with all the different things and the different legislation that's going, making it more difficult, taking away some of the protections that the officers have. Of course, none of us ever want to protect a bad officer, and that's not what we're talking about. But it's a tough job. A split-second decision can change your life forever. So, but we're doing well. We're doing good here. I'm happy to report that. So,
Great. Well, and make sure the officers know that they've got our support. Let us know what we can do to communicate that, and in case that helps.
it absolutely helps. So I'll let them know again. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you know if Idaho Springs has found any police officers, or Netherlands? I was at a Dr. Cog training kind of thing a month or so ago. Well, not even a month or so, about a month ago. And the mayor from Idaho Springs and the mayor from Netherlands both were there. And Netherlands has no police force
Right.
at all. They walk. They just packed up and left. And then Idaho has 1 or 2 officers, and that's it. And the state patrol is taking care of the rest.
Right. And then of course that happened up in Morrison as well. That,
Right.
they lost all of their officers too.
They all left,
So
right?
they're all trying to come back together, but it's difficult once they all leave. It's really difficult. So that's why I say it numerous times, but I do thank you all for the support, because that is one of the biggest reasons that the officers are leaving. I know Denver, because I come from there, right? One of the biggest reasons the officers leave there is they feel no support from their city council. And there are people that do support them, but they don't come out all the time publicly and acknowledge, that they're doing a good job, or how difficult it is. And it seems like it's the city council against the police, and who wants to work for people who don't support you. And
Right.
that's where I think we really have that advantage is we do have the support here. So it really, really helps.
Well, it's on those lines, as a council, that's what we sell. That's the primary thing of what we sell.
$8 million of our budget. So
Yeah, we sell safe,
it should be.
whether it be police, fire, or roads. That's what we sell. And our people buy it, and they're paying good money for it. So we want to give them the best.
Yep.
That's our goal.
Do you feel like we have much of that package theft going on here?
Not too bad. We haven't been hit too hard with the package theft. As the judge said, it's shoplifting was what drives our numbers here. And we do have auto theft, of course, and catalytic converters. Those are probably our top 3 things that really drive our numbers up. But I'm so thankful to say that it's not the more serious things like aggravated assaults and homicides.
Amen.
When I was looking at it, coming over here, when I was studying the city, we were averaging right around one homicide a year. And I'm blessed to say so far 2 years, we haven't had one. That's not all the police's credit because something can happen that we just can't prevent. But some of that does go to our officers because of the actions that they're doing out there and the presence that they have out there. So they definitely get some of that credit, but we can't take it all because unfortunately we could have something, happen and we just can't stop it. But being out there, working with the community, letting them know that we're there. We're working with River Point right now on the shoplifting. And so we're hanging up some new signs. We had some signs made up that, have our badge and say that we partner with Sheridan Police Department. We're also having a lot of extra patrol through there. And we're also using what we call a ghost car. So we're using a car that we're moving there several places. So even though our officers may not always be there, the car is there and it gives the appearance. But sometimes the officers are there. So it's not, I don't want people to think they're never there, but it helps to multiply our forces by using all of what we can. So.
I have a question. So this week, I was at a Colorado Association of School Board. I'm a state delegate for the resolution committee, sending the resolutions to the state capitol to our representatives and senators to hopefully vote on something. And one of the things that we approved was the capture of traffic violators that go around buses, because buses have cameras on them, but there's no legislation apparently to use that to write a ticket or to, find someone that blows around a stopped bus that's letting kids off and the arm is out. And so that was one of the things. And I was just wondering, I know that the school buses here have cameras. I don't know, would a city make the legislation? Does it have to go through the state?
The city should be able to enact some legislation on that. I know in Denver, we can cite someone if you have the complainant and then you have another witness that isn't related to the complainant. How that plays out in court, that's going to be, up to the courts because they might challenge a lot of different things. But if you can have somebody who's a complainant and then a witness that can identify that person, that's difficult to do, but there is legislation that you can do that. So I'm certain we could do that here as well.
Yeah, because it was submitted by several of the rural school districts because they obviously are having probably more issues. I mean, it's kind of harder, I think, in a city for someone to blow past a bus that's stopped or whatever. But out on a rural road, you just go right around it. And of course, that's dangerous. And, the safety of the kids is the concern. And there's apparently no state legislation that they can use those cameras that are on the buses to cite someone.
It depends if they're trying to cite that person or if they're going to hold responsible the person who owns that car. Because that's another thing that you can do is hold the person responsible that has the car. Unless they've reported it stolen, they need to tell you who was driving it, et cetera. So that could be part of that legislation that they're enacting, not necessarily that they're going to hold the offender,
Right.
but they can do something with it, even if they don't know who the offender is.
Right.
Because
So like the traffic
photo radar.
photo radar. Yeah, thank you. Same thing. It's the car gets the ticket, not necessarily the person, unless the person
Well, our photo radar,
forward and
we
says, hey, my car was stolen, or hey, that's not me, that kind of thing.
so with photo radar, we do have to know who the person is. So we match the vehicle,
the
who
person.
it comes back to with the person.
Oh, okay.
So we do that.
So
Because
As a
there's plenty of tickets that we don't send out because we don't know who the driver is. So it has to be a clear picture and then we'll send it out. And then if the person says that's not me, we can ask them, who is it? And we can, try to go more into that. But we do have to know who the driver is, where one that I'm talking about is you can hold people responsible because their vehicle is used in
Mhm.
a crime, so to speak, or a traffic infraction. And that
Oh.
might be, I would think that might be what they were enacting, but I'd have to read it to be sure.
Yeah, it's just a resolution to have them urge the General Assembly to, and the Colorado Department of Ed to support legislation along those lines, basically. So it's kind of really open-ended, however they,
Okay.
I'm sure they have some kind of input from a committee or whatever, but, so this, but the city, we could do that. I mean,
We could ask Mr. Hashi,
Yeah.
take a look
Yeah.
at if any other cities, like
If any other
Denver or
cities
others
are-
have
supporting
similar
that as well.
legislation.
Mhm.
Mhm.
that made sense to me. And I thought to myself, well, gosh, I thought that since most buses now are equipped with cameras, if you went around one, you'd for sure get a ticket, but I guess not.
Not automatic, yeah, but
Hmm.
we were at Bobcat Park when they were doing the grand reopening over there, and we had one of the citizens come up and talk to us about a chronic problem that they were seeing, cars going around the school buses.
Mhm.
So we sent our officers out there for a couple of weeks, and she ended up writing us an email thanking us, saying it's improved and actually it's not happening anymore. So we're lucky here because we're smaller and we can do that, but you're like right in a
Right.
rural area. It's more
It
difficult.
could be really bad, but it could also, if they're able to use those cameras, it might be able to, help you guys out as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, and then that brought up another question I had, like the Ring cameras or the doorbell cameras and what
Mhm.
have you. We do have the ability for you guys to use that in a crime, right?
Yes, we've partnered with Ring, and Ring will take in not just Ring cameras, any camera that they have. We can upload it and be part of our investigation.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Good topics. We're almost out of time. Anybody have anything on those? Do you all feel like that the bus stop legislation might be something to look into? Usually we try to get at least nods from everyone else, so we don't just have like one council member
Right.
using Mr. Hashi's time,
No.
I mean, how clear is the video footage on the buses?
It's pretty clear. And the only reason I know that, well, actually Judge Kimmel knows that too. My granddaughter was being picked on the back of a bus. This was several years ago. They wouldn't do that now because she's grown. But this was, she was maybe second grade, and they were poking her in the back of the head with a pencil or whatever. And they caught it on the bus, so they were able to see that. But then when they also got off the bus, she kind of turned around and said, "Stop it." And the kid, the boy, I'm sure he had a crush on her, whatever, second graders, came at her and she slugged him. She flattened him. And of course, that's what the bus caught, was her knock, because he came at her like, kind of lunged at her and made some remarks at her. She just reared back and punched him. And I think that they all ended up coming to see Judge Kimmel over the thing. But because of all the footage that they had, because it was at Alice Terry, so there was footage from the school building. There was the footage from the bus inside, as well as the camera that was on the outside.
Okay.
It was really clear. It was like watching a movie. I'm like, oh,
Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, I just.
oh my gosh, I
I
had to
just
leave.
wanted to know, if it was even worth it, if the footage is good
Yeah.
enough to.
Yeah, it's pretty good footage. Yeah, they're able to do, yeah. I was really impressed because I didn't know that either. I mean, that was my first. I knew we had the cameras. I just didn't know how well it looked, but it's pretty good footage, I guess. So,
We can do some checking also to see what other laws we have on, and maybe we have something that already addresses it. So
Great.
up to you.
Yeah, well, if you wouldn't mind checking on that, and then maybe we can just have Mr. Hashi see if he has any knowledge kind of off the top of his head. Otherwise, we'll come back to council and see if we want him to spend any time on it. Okay. I think we're at our time, so
Made it.
I'll adjourn this work session at 7 p.m. And we will have another introduction from Andrea.
Are you ready for me?
Yes.
Sorry. Hi, everybody. My name is Andrea. I'm here with the Community Language Cooperative. We're going to be practicing language justice and providing interpretation in English and Spanish. Please make sure that you select your language after the interpretation is turned on. Hola a todos, mi nombre es Andrea, estoy aquí con la Community Language Cooperative. Vamos a estar brindando interpretación simultánea en inglés y en español. Por favor, asegúrense de seleccionar su idioma una vez que la interpretación haya sido prendida. And we can begin interpretation now.
You. I'll call to order the regular meeting of the Sheridan City Council for October 24th, 2022, and time 7:01 p.m. We have all council members present except for Councilmember Stang. Can I get a motion to excuse her absence, please?
So moved.
A second.
Motion made by Councilmember Daigle and seconded by Councilmember Kelly. Can we get a vote, please?
Councilmembers Hall,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
Mayor Fleur,
Yes.
Councilmembers Whitaker,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. We rise for the invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we pray for wisdom, for strength, for courage to do right and what is good for all of our citizens. May we put the interests of others above our own. May we act with love for the common good. May we be good neighbors, recognizing your image in every person here and in our community. We ask for your continued blessings and guidance over the city of Sheridan, Lord. Also, providence and health over our safety officers, our police department, keep them safe in all that they do, as well as our fire department and our EMTs and all of the staff that work here to support the city and the citizens of this fine city. We ask all of this in your name. Amen.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have any changes to the agenda?
No changes tonight, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have the financial reports.
I'll make a motion to receive and file financial reports.
A second.
Motion made by Councilmember Hall and seconded by Councilmember Kelly. Any discussion or questions on the financial reports?
No.
Get a vote, please.
Councilmembers Daigle,
Yes.
Mayor Fleur,
Yes.
Councilmembers Whitaker,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. We have an opportunity for public comment now for anything that we're not having a public hearing for, meaning like our budgets for tonight. Is there anyone who'd like to speak to council?
Not at this time, Madam Mayor.
We've covered staff reports, so I think we can move along unless you've thought of anything else.
No.
Okay, great.
Mayor, I have one.
Minutes. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, there you are, Mr. Hash.
Yeah, I'll speak with the chief for the school bus to see if there are any amendments that we can or should make to the model traffic code.
Great,
So we
thank
will
you.
take a look at that. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next we have the minutes of the regular city council meeting of October 10th, 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of October 10th, 22.
A second.
Motion made by Councilmember Whitaker and seconded by Councilmember Smith. Any discussion or questions on the minutes? Get a vote, please.
Mayor Fleur,
Yes.
Councilmembers Whitaker,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have the consent agenda, authorized disbursements that have been or will be made from October 1st, 2022 to October 15th, 2022 in the amount of $416,058.14 per the referenced and attached transfer of funds.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'd like to second that motion.
Motion made by Councilmember Smith and seconded by Councilmember Hall. Any discussion or questions on the consent agenda? Can we have a vote, please?
Councilmembers Whitaker,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
Mayor Butterfield,
Yes,
unanimous, Madam Mayor.
thanks. Next, we have a public hearing. The purpose of the public hearing is to consider an amendment to the 2022 City of Sheridan budget and to gather input from the public on the proposed 2023 City of Sheridan budget. I'll recess the regular meeting at 7:06 PM so we can enter into the public hearing to consider the amendment to the 2022 budget and to gather input from the public on the proposed 2023 City of Sheridan budget. I'll enter the following exhibit into the record. Exhibit A, proof of publication in the Denver Post on October 13th, 2022. It says Inglewood Herald on it.
It should be a written. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's what you get for cutting and pasting.
Okay, so proof of publication in the Inglewood Herald on
That's
October
correct.
13th, 2022. And then we'll have opening remarks by our Assistant Finance Director Adler.
So I'm not going to repeat what we just said. Do you guys have any questions about the 2022 amendment or the 2023 budget?
No.
No, thank you. Thanks for all your work and of course the work of all the staff who
Yes.
put in hours of
They're-
reviewing and suggesting their budget.
And they're truly the ones that make it happen because they're watching their expenses throughout the year. They're doing that. So yes, they are the ones who do the work. I just presented.
There's no time.
Well, we do appreciate it. I mean, I know it takes a lot and I know it's, I appreciate that you always seem to keep your costs under control. So it makes it a little easier for us. We don't feel like we have to be watching you like a hawk, you know?
Right.
All right, thank you.
It is pretty cut and dry. I like that.
All right. Do we have any comments from the public or interested parties?
Not at this time, Madam Mayor.
All right. Any comments from staff or from our council?
No comments, Mayor.
Okay. Any more questions from council? All right, then we'll close the public hearing. Time is 7:08 PM. And we will move on to items for individual consideration. Ordinance is on first reading. Ordinance number 12 of 2022. An ordinance of the City of Sheridan amending a budget for the fiscal year of 2022 and appropriating sums for defraying the expenses and liabilities for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2022 and ending December 31st, 2022 in accordance with the statutes of the state of Colorado and the charter of the City of Sheridan.
I would like, go ahead.
I'll move to approve ordinance number 12, 2022.
I'll second.
Motion made by Councilmember Daigle, seconded by Councilmember Whitaker. Any further discussion on ordinance number 12? Can we get a vote, please?
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
Mayor Butterfield,
Yes,
Councilmembers Whitaker,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Mayor.
thank you. Next, we have ordinance number 13 of 2022, an ordinance of the City of Sheridan adopting a budget for the fiscal year of 2023 and appropriating sums for defraying the expenses and liabilities for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023 and ending December 31st, 2023 in accordance with the statutes of the state of Colorado and the charter of the City of Sheridan.
I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance number 13 of 20-2022.
I'll second that or motion.
Motion made by Councilmember Kelly and seconded by Councilmember Hall. Any discussion on ordinance number 13? Can we have a vote, please?
Councilmembers Kelly,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
Mayor Butterfly,
Yes.
Councilmembers Whitaker,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have resolutions. Resolution number 26 of 2022. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Sheridan appointing the Adams Group LLC to audit the city's financial statements for the calendar year ending December 31st, 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 26 of 2022.
I'll second.
Motion made by Councilmember Hall and seconded by Councilmember Daigle.
Wait.
I already said it, though. I already said it. Anyone have any discussion or questions on resolution number 26? Can we have a vote, please?
Councilmember Hall,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
Mayor Butterfly,
Yes.
Councilmembers Whitaker,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Next, we have resolution number 27 of 2022, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sheridan authorizing the city manager to execute a line of credit for the 2023 fiscal year.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 27 of 22.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Councilmember Whitaker and seconded by Councilmember Smith. Any discussion on resolution 27? Can we have a vote, please?
Councilmembers Daigle,
Yes.
Mayor Butterfly,
Yes.
Councilmembers Whitaker,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Resolution number 28 of 2022, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sheridan, Colorado, granting an easement to the Public Service Company of Colorado for utility lines and related fixtures and devices regarding the Sheridan Charge Ahead project.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 28-2022.
I'll second.
Motion made by Councilmember Kelly and seconded by Councilmember Whitaker. Any questions on resolution 28? Can we get a vote, please?
Mayor Butterfly,
Yes.
Councilmembers Whitaker,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Move through that fast. The mayor's choice, I don't have much. I wanted to ask, I forgot when you said we'd be getting the new system. Can you remind me of that?
I'm sorry.
The new voting system.
We are aiming for December 12th to be the first meeting to actually use it, but it kind of depends on the construction in here and where we're at. So,
All right.
yes. I'll be taking devices from you on November 14th. I'll send out a email to remind you. But yes, hoping for that date.
So around the 12th, you said the 12th.
Yeah, we're hoping to do that last meeting on that one. It may be the first meeting in January, but
Okay.
just kind of depends on construction.
I'm really excited for that. That'll be nice.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Okay. I don't have anything else this week. Anybody have anything they want to bring up?
For the Sheridan Celebrates meeting that we just had, they were asking, were we gonna do Parkapaloozas again for next year? I told them I couldn't answer that because I was the only council member that was present. So I think, we should all get together and figure out if that's something that we're willing to think about doing again or not. So just wanted to bring that up. It was something to think about so we can get
Just one quick
together.
question. If people have thoughts right now, you've got a few minutes. You could bring them up. Or I know Jean was soliciting, I think she sent a survey or something to each
Yeah.
council member, about your event to get your input on whether you thought it was successful or you thought it wasn't successful this year, whether it's something you'd want to try again.
Right.
With changes next year or what, So yeah, if you haven't responded to her, you can do that, or we can discuss it here too.
Well, I did my survey and I think it was a blast. I think even though there weren't, there were a lot of people over at the river. May not have been a lot of Sheridan people, but still, then it kind of, oh, we're able to talk to them and let them know that, yeah, this is Sheridan and, that kind of thing. And then not having the kickball thing was kind of a bummer, but it was still fun. I mean, there were a lot of people that showed up and, of course, I'm kind of partial to the one at Wildcat. We had a blast. That was so much fun. I think it's a really good idea. For a couple of reasons. It brings the community out. They get to, meet their council members and, see them in a different light. And then it also gets them to the parks because there were, I talked to a couple different people that didn't even know. Oh, wow, I didn't realize that we had, the river run. We have a beach that they're like, what? And a lot of them had never been to Wildcat, which was kind of fun. It's like, oh, but that's my neighborhood. I know where it's at, and I've taken my kids there. But it doesn't mean that everybody in the neighborhood knows that it's there.
Yeah.
I mean, some people just, go to school, work, whatever. They don't really have the time to get out into their own neighborhood and walk around and what have you. I think it was a blast. And it was a lot of fun, working with Jay on our Zoom meetings early in the morning because Jean is a nut, but that's okay. it was, and we got to learn a lot about one another. Like, for example, Jay has a bachelor's pad, very much so. I'm like, is that a skateboard in your kitchen? There's like skateboards hanging in the kitchen. I mean, he has, oh yeah, and and here's my motorcycle. And it's like, oh my gosh. I mean, it was just so much fun.
So it's
It
good
really
council
was.
bonding.
It was council bonding as well. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it so much. I really did. Really, really did. It was a lot of fun. And I think that the people that came out really enjoyed it and got a lot out of it to each of the different ones.
Yeah, I'd like to see it happen again.
That's just my opinion.
I think with the proper advertisement, it'd be worth it.
Right.
If we can't get the proper advertisement, I don't think it's worth it. Because down, for each one, like for ours, we both booked the park at the same time with lacrosse or whatever. So that kind of, really didn't bring a lot of Sheridan people out. Bobcat Park, that one probably had a decent turnout. The one by the Platte River, there were no one there really from Sheridan. Everyone there were there to enjoy the water, that they came from, other parts of the town. So without the proper advertisement, I don't think it's worth it.
Or you learn something about what locations work and which ones don't.
Yeah.
Or what things to watch out for.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I'll add to mine, even though I wasn't there because I had to go visit my brother before he passed. I think it's more important to have it in our ward area versus down along the Platte River, because I think we would have gotten more. I was kind of pushing for Barnes Park because everybody that lives on the hill or the bottoms knows where Barnes Park's at. I even talked about the park versus your park across the street from me. It's one of those things that I don't know if it worked better, but we're in the neighborhood.
Definitely central. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, it's one of those things that maybe people could have walked to. And that's kind of where I stand.
I think that's the kind of feedback, if you want to continue it and try again next year, that's the
But I'm
kind of
agreeing with
feedback that's
parents.
helpful.
We've got to, out of some of that money, do postcards, something like that to the people. Trying to do flyers that you're only getting a handful of people. But I think if you did the postcards in our neighborhoods, I think it'd be more effective.
Yeah, I think the postcards, they ended up doing postcards, but I think it was after the Ward 1.
Yes.
Yeah, it was after the
before
first.
the other two.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like after the first one, we're already learning a little bit about
Yeah.
what needed to happen, you know?
And it's got to be advertised. If we're going to do it, we've got to start advertising in probably March. I'm quite, because people are starting to plan their summers out. So it may work out good for some, but you know, it's just food for thought.
You could always set your date real early and start promoting it yourself.
Because my ward's event was June the 12th, if I remember right. So it's right after school's out. So a lot of people are kind of doing those things.
Mhm. Well, that's good feedback. If you haven't returned your survey to Jean, just make sure you do that. And then the committee can help, and the committee can decide if it's something they want to work on again. And if you all are interested in doing it again, we'll all go forward.
Yep.
All right. Anybody have anything else?
No, Don did.
I do.
Great.
I've got a couple things. Up on Clay Street, the light pole pretty much to the top of the hill is between the Marmon brothers. It got knocked down sometime this summer in one of the windstorms.
Uh-oh.
And it's very, I realized it last Friday night when I was coming home. It's very dark on top of the hill now. So, you know, if we could get that replaced, it sure would be appreciated. The other thing, one of my neighbors, because I had to go do some work on her house yesterday. She said about a week or two ago, there was a couple going around doing like a survey of how we felt about our school district, whether they attended council meetings. They were kind of bouncing all over the area. And I don't know if anybody else noticed that.
No,
I said, I noticed some people a couple weekends ago going up and down the street, but they never came to my door. So, you know, I just kind of food for thought.
Somebody campaigning.
I don't know if they really didn't say, they didn't really say officially who they were. And as I told her, when we go to counseling or to get our petition, we always say who we are and what we're running for. And, you know, I don't know if we have a policy where you could have a policy where if people are doing that kind of stuff, they kind of have a little badge on them of who their representative. But I know a lot of people that do petitions, they've got all their stuff, they got their stuff. So I mean, she was just kind of curious about that. The last thing, in fact, she brought this up, something we talked about last council meeting about our newsletter. And she's one of those older people that kind of likes seeing something solid in her hand. So if we could work on something, you know, I don't know if there's 150 people that need it mailed out, you know, somehow, whether we could do it. And once again, I'm willing to put some of my money and sweat equity into it to get that done, because I think there are.
That's where we left it, was that
Right.
if you want to pick up some copies or print out some copies, then
Well, it's not
we
so
can
much
get
pick up
some
copies, but
postage or.
get us a mailing list of some of these people. And I think it's one of those important things that, and you know, I think you made the point last time that this stuff's already been generated. There's got to be a way we can copy it and mail it out. And I'm willing to pay for the copy too. So it's one of those things that unfortunately this year I didn't have a lot of time to get out and visit people, but now I'm starting to do that. So I'm starting to hear the same thing.
I think you just need to be the one who's taking those names, because otherwise we don't know.
Well, I
You gotta
understand.
take
I
those
just,
names and addresses.
I'm just thinking, just like Jay, it's kind of got me to thinking that there is a little bit of a need for the seniors, especially the ones, you know, we talked about putting them into the trailer parks, you know. So, you know, it's something that I think we need to look at. So I'm kind of rethinking a little bit. I'd love to see this kind of come to a work session. I'm not saying completely do it, but something that might be affordable.
Should we have like a Sheridan little box or something they can walk to and pull it out,
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
newspapers, like how we used to?
Something like that.
Something like that, maybe boxes set up around Sheridan that they can just go and open it up and pull out.
Yeah. I think Ari wants to. Come on up, Ari.
I mean, I don't know, just thinking.
I love your idea about mailboxes. I think Randy would love that. And let me just speak on behalf of all of staff. We do always have physical copies here. Just
Okay.
bring them down.
Thank you.
Well, we can, I mean, if the majority of council wants to talk about something at a work session, we'll get it scheduled if you feel like we still need to revisit this.
I would.
I think that might make it a little easier for people. We got boxes set up in certain places where they can just open it up and pull out a printed copy.
Well, I'll bring that up to Devin so we can try to get it on one of our upcoming agendas.
Appreciate that.
Okay, anybody else?
I just want to encourage everyone to vote. Encourage your kids to vote and read the ballots and know what's on it because there's some tricky wording. You know, but some really great things on the ballot. And next time we meet, we'll be on the other side of it.
Oh, right, we will be. On the other side of it. Oh, thank goodness. That means the commercials will stop.
Mhm.
You
I'm
think
just,
the other side?
The
You're
dark.
thinking the other, yeah.
the other- no.
I'm just glad I didn't have to do any canvassing this year.
Right.
Thank goodness.
None of us did, right? We're all good.
Yeah.
Until next year.
Okay, last chance. Anybody else? Okay, we have an opportunity for public comment if there's anyone who'd like to speak to council.
Not at this time.
Then we'll adjourn our regular meeting at 7:27 PM. And we'll go into the Sheridan Redevelopment Agency meeting. Time is 7:27 PM. We have all board members present except for board member Stang. First item is the minutes. Minutes of the SRA regular meeting of September 26, 2022.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Motion by board member Hall and seconded by board member Daigle. Any discussion on the minutes?
No.
Vote please.
Members Hall,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
Chairman Butterfluer,
Yes.
members Whitaker,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Next is the financial reports.
I'll make a motion to receive and file the financial reports.
Second that.
Motion made by board member Hall and seconded by board member Kelly. Any discussion on the financial reports? Can we get a vote, please?
Members Daigle,
Yes.
Chairman Butterfluer,
Yes.
members Whitaker,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. The approval of disbursements, authorized disbursements that have been or will be made for expenses in the amount of $117,063.21 as referenced below. Legal expenses, none. Other professional services, $8,246.22. City support services, $108,114. Other expenses, $702.99.
I'll make a motion to approve the disbursements as stated.
A second?
Motion made by board member Whitaker and seconded by board member Smith. Any questions on the disbursements? Can we get a vote, please?
Chairman Butterfluer,
Yes.
members Whitaker,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Chairman, excuse me.
Public hearings on the amended 2022 budget and proposed 2023 budget. I'll recess the meeting at 7:29 PM to enter into a public hearing to gather citizen input on the proposed 2023 Sheridan Redevelopment Agency budget and to consider an amendment to the 2022 Sheridan Redevelopment Agency budget. I'll enter the following exhibit into the record. Exhibit A, proof of publication in the Inglewood Herald on October 13th, 2022. And we will have opening remarks by Teresa Adler.
So again, as we've talked about with the 2022 budget amendment is for debt service. The 2023 budget is what we presented at the last meeting. So pretty straightforward, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. Do we have any comments from citizens or interested parties?
Not at this time, Madam Chairman.
Okay. This is their chance, you know.
They're really missing out.
I know. Do we have any comments from our staff or our attorney?
No comments, Mayor.
Okay. Any more questions from board members? No. Then I'll close the public hearing at 7:31 PM. Next, we have a resolution number 5 of 2022. A resolution of the Sheridan Redevelopment Agency amending the budget for the fiscal year of 2022 and appropriating sums for defraying expenses and liabilities for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2022 and ending December 31st, 2022 in accordance with the statutes of the state of Colorado.
I'll make a motion to accept resolution number 5 of 2022.
I'll second.
Motion made by Board Member Smith and seconded by Board Member Whitaker. Anyone want to bring up on resolution number 5? Can we get a vote, please?
Members Whitaker,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
Chairman Butterfly,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Resolution number 6 of 2022, a resolution of the Sheridan Redevelopment Agency adopting a budget for the fiscal year of 2023 and appropriating sums for defraying expenses and liabilities for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023 and ending December 31st, 2023 in accordance with the statutes of the state of Colorado.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 6 of -2022.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by Board Member Kelly and seconded by Board Member Hall. Any discussion on resolution 6? Can we have a vote, please?
Members Smith,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
Chairman Butterfly,
Yes.
members Whitaker,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. And we have resolution number 7 of 2022, a resolution of the Sheridan Redevelopment Agency of Sheridan, Colorado, SRA, appointing the Adams Group LLC to audit the agency's financial statements for the calendar year ending December 31st, 2022.
I'll move to approve resolution number 7, 2022.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Board Member Daigle and seconded by Board Member Kelly. Any discussion on resolution 7? Can I get a vote, please?
Members Kelly,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
Chairman Butterfly,
Yes.
members Whitaker,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
unanimous, Madam Chairman.
Thanks. New business Pinnacle report for October of 2022.
So this is actually the highlight of
It
the
is.
evening.
It does.
So as far as new businesses, we're hoping Sally Beauty Supply will be open in November. They told Jess the beginning of November. I think Jess thought that was wishful thinking. So he felt that it would be by for sure by the end of November. So good for them getting opened up before Christmas.
Mhm.
As far as any other openings I don't know about, pledge revenues, man, aren't those pretty?
Mhm.
So yeah, so still year to date 9.62. So it just makes me happy. So continues to be strong. Continuing compliance, October, we don't have any, but we make up for it in the next 2 months. So November and December, we have a lot of calculations and things that we have to report on. So that will keep us busy. And the budget's the other thing. And thank you for approving the audit so that then I can start working on that because I didn't want to be bored. So, but anyway, I'm happy to answer any questions about.
But in the parking lot with Andy's, and you know how we have, was it the dental or is it the vision? Vision? What is that they're building next to it? What is that?
It's at the surgery center.
Yeah, VRC.
Is that
Yeah.
what that one? Okay.
CA.
I was wondering,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what this is.
That- yeah.
I was like, it might be Kane's chicken. I mean, I don't know. Okay, but it's a surgery. Okay.
It looked weird when I was over there. It looked like the building was full of dirt. I don't know what I was seeing, but it was actually full of dirt. Sorry.
So that's the advanced radiology building for VRCC. So that was shipped from Florida and drove to Sheridan, Colorado.
Oh, okay.
And then it's lined with lead. And then to alleviate using more lead, they pour sand into it. And that is so dense that it too can like block radiation. So it's first layer is lead and then the second layer is sand.
So they're just gonna like spread that.
And then they'll like build a building around it.
Yeah.
So
'Cause I was like,
Right.
what is this? I was like, what is this?
it was the
Looks
first
really
one ever
weird.
built in the United States. And so it
Really?
was the first one and
Huh,
it's in your town now.
Huh.
So congratulations.
That's cool.
Not cool.
First for like pet radiation. Huh? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Sheridan breaking that ground again.
Yeah.
Yeah, always
Advanced
first.
pet medicine. Get it here.
Nice.
That's cool.
All the pet lovers out there.
And because it's contained that way, rather than them having to come, because normally they bring it in sheets or sometimes they'll pour the lead.
I don't know a lot about building,
No.
radioactive buildings.
Yeah.
But I would assume, yeah, you would assemble the lead, but this is prefab. And then they pour the sand in, and that's like the second chilling layer.
Right. Safer for the river, probably.
Yeah,
Because I think. that-
Sorry, Miss Andrea's giving you the look. She can't hear you,
Yeah.
but you can't see her yet.
Are we done? I think we're done. Is there any other questions for Teresa? No, that was an exciting one. Thanks for that. Council, Board Member Kelly, I appreciate it. All right, we'll adjourn at 7:37 PM. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, we'll